it's morning time. I've just been hiking up the hill for the first 30 minutes. It's probably 50 degrees. Rained this morning, but I was actually inside. Had some planned trail magic from a friend, Super Dave. Thanks, Super Dave. Super Dave lives in Blacksburg. He's a lawyer. He has done the Triple Crown, which means he's hiked the AT, the PCT, and the CDT. He also did the Camino last year, the year before. And I consulted with Dave a couple of years before I started my trip, and didn't realize how much he was following my trip. So he reached out a week or so ago, and so it said he knew I was going to be in the area and wanted to take me off trail for a meal in the night. And we just had a great time last night. A couple other hikers he brought in with me, and just had a great time with Sue and Chris Tuck, our dinner hosts, and some other family members. And it was just great meal and great social time. And he returned us to the trail about an hour ago. So just thought I'd report on how things are going. It means I'm near Blacksburg, making my way to Roanoke, where I get to see Cheryl for the first time since the hike started. And some friends are coming out to hike, and one of my former law partners hiking with me tomorrow. So the theme, which I put on my blog, really was I'm eager for spring, which also seems to be eluding us, but I'm also eager for family and friends that are going to be a big part of my next week. So thought I'd just show you this trail, good condition. Finished the hike up the hill. And of course you see that we've got another misty morning. Not really raining, just 99% humidity. So anyway, I'll supposed to clear up, and we've got some iconic, my favorite word is, some iconic stops coming up on the AT around the Roanoke area. Tomorrow we'll see Dragon's Tooth, and Saturday we'll see McAfee's Knob and Tinker Cliffs. So anyway, I'll be back. Well, one of my favorite things is this great water, mountain streams rushing over the rocks. But this one I thought I would show you a little bit, because here's the trail. I need to get over there, and going down this rock is, I don't know if you can tell how steep that is, but it's steep and wet, and there's no chance that I'm going down that rock. So how do I get to that middle rock so I can get over that dirt over there? It looks like people have tried a route over here, down that log, over that rock, over here. That looks pretty precarious myself. Now, another route might be these logs here, put these together. So we do have these conundrums sometimes. It's happened a few times because right now with the spring, a lot of rain we've had, all of these mountain streams are swollen and at their height, and some of our passages have been blocked. So I thought I'd show this to you, and now let me try to figure out how I'm going to get across. All right, so I made it to the other side. You can see the white blaze over there. That's where I filmed from originally. I had to go back around the corner and then come up on top of the green moss on top of that tree. Slid my way down the tree. Fortunately, there's some branches there that were like a rail. Come down there, and then step on that rock, and then come way over here. And then I had to go up into the woods, back up here, and then come down here. Anyway, quite a feat. It took me 20 minutes to get this done. So hopefully we're free for the day. All right, just 5 minutes later, we had another tough crossing here. Good thing that Cheryl doesn't watch me go across these, because as you can see, this one wasn't quite as hard as the other one. I did get across it already, but very dicey. All these rocks are wet, and you got to be just ultra careful that you don't slip. And the poles do help with your balance. Well, I realized I didn't do any video today. Today's a special day. We have a guest hiker, my good friend, business partner, former law partner, Mike Hastings is with us today. And if he doesn't move, you'll get to see him in a minute. But I've got to show you this scene. And it's appropriate for a video because you can see I'm giving you almost 180 degrees. And here's our guest hiker. Say hi, Mike.
Hello.
And it's just magnificent. Just look if you can, just beyond, see ridge after ridge. With all the views I've had on this trip, this is one of the best ever. So want to share that with you. And coming up in a few minutes is Dragon's Tooth. Hopefully I remember to do a little video for that, for you for that as well. Okay, we made it to Dragon's Tooth, and I don't know if these are teeth or not, or there's just one tooth, but these kind of look like you could say these are teeth 2. But I'm pretty sure right there in the middle of the screen now is Dragon's Tooth. And very famous here. Look how worn this whole area is. Very often visited. And now you've seen Dragon's Tooth. You can see someone up there pretty far. Don't think I need to go up there.
See those guys up there?
But I think Mike Hastings is going to climb up there. All right, we'll be back. Okay. After I finish this video, think about where I might be. And then I'll show you where we are. Actually, when I end the video, you'll know right where I am. Got a pretty nice day. And of course, yes, we're at McAfee's Knob, most famous photograph on the Appalachian Trail. Maybe second to the Katahdin sign. Okay, so we were at McAfee's Knob last time I videoed. We have hiked about 6 miles to Tinker Cliffs. And of course, we still got a beautiful day. And here's the view from Tinker Cliffs. Well, it's Monday morning. All the guests have gone back to Richmond. Had just a fantastic visit from Cheryl and Mike and Pam and Ned and Kathy. Really couldn't have been a better weekend. We had great weather, had a chance to have a couple of nice dinners, and we did some great hiking, McAfee's Knob and Tinker Cliff, and just a perfect weekend, perfect weather and great friends. So back on my own, leaving Daleville. Daleville's just a little east of Roanoke. It's a big supply town, resupply town for AT thru hikers. Caught up with, as we so often do, a bunch of my colleagues, friends hiking through. Had dinner with Sleeves last night and saw play-by-play in Pit Boss and Crockett and Footloose and a bunch of other people. So It's almost an idyllic morning. Cool, tiny breeze, and just a beautiful time. We got a big climb this morning. I'm about halfway through it, and I've been showing you this because the trail is so perfect. Very smooth, a lot of pine needles. And one thing I've mentioned with the views is, we're usually looking through the trees, and I don't know if you can tell or not, but the leaves are starting to come out. They're really starting to pop. Maybe spring is here, and very shortly we're not going to be able to look out through these trees and see these mountains or ridge lines, but we'll be in what is often called the long green tunnel of the Appalachian Trail. So see a little peak back there. If you can see that in the middle of the screen, it's actually where I was yesterday, and I came down from that, and you can almost see there's a tower that's a power line on top of that, and the trail kind of finished there and then came down that slope into Daleville, and I spent last night in Daleville. So today we're on our way towards Waynesboro. It's part of the trail. It doesn't have that many towns that are that accessible, so I have 4 or 5 days of food, and so my pack is back to about as heavy as it usually gets. I mentioned one time about a week or so ago when I left Marion, I was in the same situation, and my pack was really uncomfortable, and my lower back was hurting. And fortunately, I did a little resting and a little slack packing, and my back feels better. And now that I've been hiking for over 2 hours this morning with the full pack, pleased to report that we're pain-free right now. So I'm pleased with that, since I am climbing a pretty good hill and I do have a full pack. Once again, I think resting as soon as you notice some injuries, at least for me, is the best way to deal with those things, and don't let them get to be a bigger problem. So, okay, I think that's all for now. We'll see how the day goes. So we've reached the Blue Ridge Parkway. I knew we would get here sooner or later. I was a little surprised we got here as soon as we did. Reason is, once we get to the Blue Ridge Parkway, I feel a little bit like we're getting home. Certainly, I've been on the Parkway quite a few times. When I had luxury of time, I might drive from Roanoke to back to Richmond by way of, at least part way by way of the Blue Ridge Parkway. The trail takes us to this outlook. So I think it does. To figure that out in a minute. But we got a magnificent day, so we might as well enjoy the view. And for those curious, this is Taylor Mountain.